Zay, always nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So police releasing this trove of video evidence related to the shooting. What did we learn and what are the implications of it?
The release of so much information prior to any charges is a highly unusual move. And I think the police were doing it for full transparency. So I think the sheriff at New Mexico, they wanted to make everything transparent. So if there are charges, everybody could see why they were based. They might be looking for attorneys to come in and defend the information that they have released. So I think they did it with good intentions. However, it is really backfiring on them at this point. There is so much information in there, and Hawkins family, it's traumatizing, and they were truly under no true obligation to release this information in an ongoing investigation. So there is a lot going on here that both the accused, if they make an accusation, will pick apart, as well as the victim. So now everybody's mad.
And what is the timeline on whether charges can be filed?
Oh, they will be filed far in advance of the statute of limitations as it would relate to negligence in New Mexico, which is probably three years. So they will, I think they are signaling that charges will come soon, or at least a charging decision will come soon. I think they are just waiting for that ballistic evidence from the FBI as it relates to other live rounds on the set. And they are waiting to get Alec Baldwin's text messages.
Right. They have his cell phone now. So all this time later, are we any clearer? Do we have any clear idea of why the gun was loaded and what happened? He said he didn't even pull the trigger.
Right. We still don't know how the live ammo got on the set. I don't think any of the troves of information that they released has answered that very important question. What we know from the OSHA report and that investigation, which came out and summarized their findings, is that there were major safety protocol breaches on the set, that it had been ongoing. I think they established knowledge that the producers and the managers on the set would know of the safety violations. So they have made some findings for that report that I think will be instructive to the DA in making any charging decisions. But again, yes, no one knows how the ammo got there other than to say it absolutely shouldn't have been there, but I think you all knew it was.
And lawyers on all sides paying attention to that report and that fine, which was the maximum fine the state would allow. And then Baldwin said in that ABC interview that he didn't feel guilty because he wasn't responsible. Do you think that's going to be used against him?
I think that his theme throughout this has been, it wasn't me, somebody else did this. I didn't pull the trigger. I didn't know there was live ammo. Somebody told me it was a cold gun. This is a horrible thing that happened, and it wasn't my fault. Now, I do think the OSHA report does support that it wasn't his fault, that he wasn't the person in charge of safety violations. I will tell you, though, I think they are waiting to see his text messages on his cell phone to figure out what he did or didn't know about gun safety and live ammo on the set before they make any final decisions, though, as to who should be charged.
And finally, before I let you go, how do you think the Hawkins family civil suit plays out?
Oh, I think the Hawkins family civil suit is a slam dunk for them. I mean, all of the violations going on as far as meeting a civil standard, that it was more likely than not that her death was a result of negligence on the set. That is by far, I think, met as it relates to everything that's come out, including that neutral government report. That is highly in her favor.
All right. Rachel Fizet, thank you for breaking down the latest developments in this case. We appreciate seeing you.
Thank you.
Students at an art school in Rochester.
Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.